GNANA DEEKSHA, a concept-based digital learning. A very good morning to all my dear students. I am T.SWetha, JL in English from TSWREIS JCG, Chacharla. Hope you all are doing great in your studies. I am here to present the topic prepositions. And they are important because they act as vital markers to the structure of a sentence. They mark special relationship between persons, objects and locations. By the end of the session, you will be able to understand what are prepositions, the different forms of prepositions, some important prepositions, the way we use prepositions in questions, and correctly use prepositions in a sentence. Now let us look at a poem that uses prepositions. Above the cloud, behind the cloud, around the cloud, below the cloud, beneath the cloud, beside the cloud, beyond the cloud, into the cloud, near the cloud, outside the cloud, over the cloud, past the cloud, through the cloud, toward the cloud, under the cloud, and finally dived underneath the cloud. Now let us look at what exactly prepositions are. A preposition is a word that shows the relationship between two things. In the poem that we just read, the prepositions like above, below, outside, into, under, etc. show the relationship between a plane and a cloud. Prepositions are the words that are used to connect nouns, pronouns, and phrases in any sentence. The relationship can include direction, place, a particular point or location, time, manner, cause, and amount. The preposition is almost always before the noun or pronoun, and hence it is called as a preposition. Now, let us see a couple of examples. First, the ball is below your bed. Now here, below is a preposition which shows the place where the ball is. Secondly, he came by bus. Here, by is a preposition which shows the manner by which that person came. Now, let us see the different forms of prepositions. There are 5 forms of prepositions. They are simple prepositions, compound prepositions, double prepositions, participle prepositions, and then prepositional phrases. Now, let us look at each of them. First, the simple preposition. Simple prepositions are used in simple sentences. For example, the common prepositions like in, on, at, to, from, with, by, etc. are used in simple sentences. Let us look at one simple sentence. I am not coming with you. Here, we can say the connection between two pronouns I and you by the preposition with. Now let us look at a well-known fable, The Ant and the Grasshopper. In a field, one summer day, a grasshopper was hopping about the place, chirping and singing to its heart's content. An ant passed by her, bearing along a great toil and ear of corn he was taking to the nest. Why not come and chat with me, said the grasshopper, instead of toiling and moiling in that way. I am helping to lay up the food for the winter, said the ant, and recommend you to do the same. Why bother about winter, said the grasshopper. We have got plenty of food at present. But the ant went on its way and continued its toil. When winter came, the grasshopper had no food and found itself dying of hunger. While it saw the ants distributing every day corn and grain from the stores they had collected in the summer. Now, if you have observed in the fable, prepositions like on, at, of, for, which are mostly monosyllables, are called simple prepositions. Now, the second one is compound prepositions. When we join two connecting nouns, pronouns, and phrases, then we use compound prepositions. Few compound prepositions are about, across, among, between, beside, before, etc. Let us look at one compound sentence. I will reach there before she leaves. Here, the phrases I will reach there and the phrase she leaves is connected with this compound preposition before. Moving on to the third one, double prepositions. A double preposition is two preposition words used in a sentence to connect nouns, pronouns, and phrases with other words in a sentence. Some double prepositions are outside of, out of, from, behind, because of, etc. Let us look at one sentence with double prepositions. It was just because of you that they went to school. The fourth one is participle preposition. When a participle, that means an ed or ing ending verb, is used as a preposition, it is known as a participle preposition. Some participle prepositions are concerning, pending, considering, assuming, barring, during, given, notwithstanding, provided, regarding. Let us look at one sentence with a double preposition. I think I can do it easily considering my knowledge. The fifth one is phrase preposition. A prepositional phrase is a group of words containing a preposition, a noun or pronoun, object of the preposition, and any modifiers of the object are used. Some phrasal prepositions are according to, in spite of, on account of, in front of, in order to, for the sake of, by means of, with reference to, in addition to, due to, etc. Let us look at one sentence with a prepositional phrase. According to me, there are 3 members of this company. Now, let us see the illustration given, which shows the different prepositions. In the first picture, there is a red box above the black line. Likewise, if you see the prepositions of the position of the other red, yellow, and green boxes in connection to the black lines or boxes, they are either beside, between, in, out, inside, outside, on, up, or down, or across, or around, into, or near, or through, or for, or with, or first or last in connection with the black lines or boxes. Now let us move further to know more about some important prepositions. And these are prepositions of place, prepositions of time, prepositions of divergent relations, the possessive preposition of, and the prepositions in question. First, let us see what prepositions of place are. Preposition of place is used to refer to a place where something or someone is located. Prepositions of place allow you to be very specific when talking about where the action takes place in stories or when discussing important details for communication purposes. The more commonly used prepositions of place are at, in, on. At, it is a preposition of place which is used to discuss a certain point. In, it is a preposition of place which is used to discuss an enclosed space. And on is also a preposition of place which will tell us where the thing is. Let us look at the examples of preposition of place. At home, at work, at school or at university, at college, at the top, at the bottom, at the side, at the reception. Now in a car, in a taxi, in a helicopter, in a boat, in a lift, in the newspaper, in the sky, in a row, in Oxford Street, coming to on a bus, on a train, on a plane, on a ship, on a bicycle, on a motorbike, on a horse, on an elephant, on the radio, on television, on the left, on the right, on the way. Now, let us look at a small story. Save your mind at any cost. Tenali Ramakrishna and his wife were going to a friend's wedding. His wife wore her best saree and jewels. Suddenly, a bullock cart, totally out of control, came rushing from behind. Tenali quickly pulled his wife towards him in an effort to bring her to safety, lost his balance, and both of them fell into a pit beside the road. Now let us see a conversation between them in this regards. Wife: what do you think you are doing? You spoilt my beautiful sari. I can't go to the wedding like this now. Then Ali said, well, it's time to buy a new sari then. And as he smiles to himself, he was thanking God that she's safe. So, if you have observed, the prepositions of place which are used in the above story are to, out of, towards, in, into, and beside. Now, let us see an illustration here. If you look at the picture, there is a football and a box. Now, see the position of the ball in connection to the box and the prepositions that are used. If you observe in the pictures of the first row, the ball is in the box, under the box, on the box, next to the box, and in front of the box. If you observe the second row of pictures, the ball is between two boxes. It is above the box, below the box, and near the box. Let us look at some more examples of prepositions of place. In, they live together in an old house. On, he is lying on his back on the floor. Beside, my house is beside a small lake. Between, I sat down between Kate and Jan. Behind, she's standing behind me in the line. In front of, there's a car in front of the hotel. Over, they were jumping over the fire. Above, we were above the clouds looking down. Under, she had hidden her toys under the bed. Across, he walked across the street. Through, he was looking through the window. Into, she went into her room and locked the door. Towards, he was heading towards the lake. From, he ran away from the house last night. Around, I like to walk around the lake. Now, coming to another important one, which is preposition of time. Preposition of time shows the relationship of time between the nouns to the other parts of the sentence. Preposition of time is a preposition that always allows you to discuss a specific time period, such as a date on the calendar, one of the days of the week, or the actual time something takes place. Prepositions of time are the same words as prepositions of place. However, they are used in different ways. You can easily distinguish these prepositions, as they always discuss times rather than places. Some commonly used prepositions of time are on, at, in, from, to, for, since, ago, before, till, until, by, etc. Let us go through some basic prepositions of time. At, in, on. At. Used for the exact time. For example, at the end of the month, at 10 o'clock, at the weekend. The flight leaves at 3 a.m. The second one is in. Used for months, years, centuries, and longer periods. For example, in summer, in 2015, in December, in the morning, in the evening. The syllabus will be completed in January. The third one, on, for days and for dates. For example, on Christmas Day, on Tuesday, on Monday, etc. My daughter will come here on Saturday. Let us look at some more examples of prepositions of time, like ago. Ago means sometime earlier. He was here 2 years ago. In. It means sometime in the future. I will be back home in an hour. After. After means sometime later in the past, showing next action. After 15 minutes, I heard a call. After we talked, I was more sure. Before. Before, it shows the previous action and some in the past as well. Before we met, I was not fair to him. I have never met him before. Till or until, it is the final point of action. I will stay here till or until September. From to, it is the initial and final points of finished actions. I lived in Belgium from 2009 to 2014. Since it is the initial point of unfinished action. I haven't seen him since October. For it is the length of unfinished or finished action. How long have you known him? For 2 years. I worked there for a month. During, in the process of. I learned German during my work, my travel. While, in the process of. Using a sentence. I learned German while I was traveling. Moving on to the next one, it is prepositions of divergent relations. There are about 8 of them, like by, for, since, to, from, with, between, among. Each one has its own distinctive usage. We will see about each of them now. The first one is by. To say something will happen at or before a certain moment. For example, he should leave by 9 a.m., by Monday, or by next month. In the passive voice, the case was argued by an eminent lawyer. To indicate mode of action, he has improved his English by reading newspapers. To indicate mode of transport, we went to Delhi by air. To mean away in place of through. The thief escaped by a small lane. The second one is for. We use for to indicate period of time. I will stay here for 10 days. To indicate reason or cause. For example, he was punished for his offense. To indicate purpose. For example, you should read books to gain knowledge. The third one is since. We use since to indicate a point of time. For example, since 6 a.m. in the morning, since morning, since 6 a.m. today, since 1998, since last week, etc. The fourth one is to. We use to indicate time with from and to. Our college timings are from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. To indicate destination, they are going to USA. To indicate relationship. This is my answer to your question. The fifth one is from. We use from to indicate time with from and to. Our college timings are from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. to indicate point of origin or source. Krishnan is from Tamil Nadu. To refer to 2 places, we traveled from Delhi to Jaipur. The sixth one is with. We use with before nouns used as instruments. For example, the walls were painted with imported brushes. The goldsmith polished the ring with a chemical substance. The seventh one is between. We use between when we refer to a position in the middle of the two. For example, Mohan is standing between Hardik and Shailesh. The eighth one is among. We use among to refer to things which are part of a group or a crowd. For example, he doesn't want to sit among us. Again, talking about to and for, we use to when we show the beneficiary of something, and we use for to show the recipient of something. For examples, the Mission Kakatiya scheme is of great help to the farmers. Kumar bought a mobile for his son. Another important one is the functions of possessive preposition of. We use of with nouns referring to feelings. Example, love of animals is commendable. We use of to say that something belongs to someone or something. For example, he is lying on the floor of the living room. We use of with quantifiers. For example, they make a lot of mistakes. And more examples like all of, any of, a bit of, a lot of, a kilo of, tons of, etc. We use of to say that someone or something has a particular quality. For example, Shravan is a man of his words. Yasmin is a girl great of intelligence. We use of in front of a number to indicate age. For example, an old man of 99, a child of 2. We use of with reporting verbs to indicate the general subject matter of a statement. For example, the local MLA informed the CM of the developments in the constituency. Now let us see more, like complain of, think of, write of, inform of, warn of, etc. We use of with possessive pronouns to qualify a noun group. For example, she was an old friend of mine. She was a student of mine. This is a poem of his, and he is a fan of a celebrity. Lastly, let us see a little about the way we use prepositions in questions. We use questions with prepositions when we ask about the element of a sentence. And in the questions with prepositions, we put prepositions at the end of the question. With answers like, I played tennis with John, the question with preposition would be like, who did you play tennis with? Another example would be, which company do you work for? The answer would be, I work for a multinational company. Likewise, what do you usually talk about? We usually talk about sports and more. What are you thinking about? Who did she send it to? And so on. Now, let us test our knowledge of prepositions with a few fill-in-the-blanks. The first one, there is a cold war dash these two countries. Now think about the preposition which would fit in correctly here. Yes, it is between. There is a cold war between these two countries. The second one, the martyr wrote his final testament dash blood. How did he write? Yes, the answer is with blood. The third one, he served in the military dash 30 years. Now, what will be the answer here? The answer is for 30 years. The next one, Suresh goes to college dash foot. How does he go? On foot. The answer is on foot. Dash Mahesh, all the students could speak French. Except Mahesh, all the students could speak French. Next one, the 5 thieves shared the stolen money dash themselves. And the answer is among themselves. The snake crawled dash its pit. And the answer here is the snake crawled into its pit. Many great people hail dash rural areas of the country. The answer would be from rural areas of the country. Now let us revise the topic. Now what are prepositions? A preposition is a word that shows the relationship between two things. The relationship can include direction, place, a particular point or location, time, manner, cause, and amount. And what are the different forms of prepositions? The prepositions are simple, compound, double, participle, and phrasal prepositions. Some important prepositions are prepositions of place, time, prepositions of divergent relations, prepositions which are of, possessive prepositions of, and we have seen the way prepositions are used in questions. We have also done a small exercise of fill in the blanks. So students, coming to the end of the session, as an example, imagine if I ask you these two questions. Can I throw this ball to you? Or if I may ask, can I throw this ball at you? For the first one, you may answer, yes, I'm ready to catch it. For the second one, you may say, no, please, it may hurt me. So, the difference between to and at in the context of throwing a ball is quite clear. So, the importance of prepositions is quite apparent, and in some cases, it could even save your life. And the correct usage of prepositions is vitally important in English. So students, please practice using prepositions in the right way. Happy learning and thank you.